into the chambers. She was sworn in again. I don't know which one. Oh, I don't know how she's thinking.
Because you could see her yesterday.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was like, yeah, it was like she couldn't be happy about.
Yeah.
Even though I know she is, but you know, at the same time, you're trying to plan a funeral.
Yeah, yeah, she's feeling all that. All right, good evening. I would like to welcome you to the Greenwood School District 52 Board of Trustees meeting for the month of July 2026. I would like to call the meeting to order. At this time, Mr. Ray Jackson will lead us in the invocation, followed by Dr. Adam Alkelberger leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we get to come together and meet tonight, Father, and be able to discuss the business of this great district that you've allowed us to be a part of. Father, I pray that as we meet tonight, Father, that you would give us wisdom and guidance and the decisions that we need to make for this district. And Father, that we'll always put you first and then take care of our teachers and our staff and our students. And Father, make sure that everything is safe. And Father, as we begin a new year, I pray that you'd surround each one of our schools, Father, and put a hedge of protection around them. For us, in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, I would like to call Dr. Adam Eichelberger to the front of the room to receive the oath of office. Dr. Eichelberger and his family. Is there anybody from your family? Okay. All right. At this time, I'm going to read the oath of office, and then you can respond. I do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified, according to the Constitution of this state, to exercise the duty of the office to which I have been elected, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and the United States. So help me God.
I do.
Good job.
Thank
All right, thank you. And then I'm going to ask Mr. Darren Carter to step forward, and if he has any family members to come join us.
Just my brother here
I do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified, according to the Constitution of this state, to exercise the duties of the office which I have been elected, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States. So help me God. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Schofield. All right, at this time we have elections of officers, and so I am seeking nominations for Greenwood District 52 Board Chairman. Do I have any nominations?
Dr. Taylor, I'd like to put into nominations for chairman is Darren Carter.
All right, I have Darren Carter as a nomination. Do I have anyone else, any other nominations?
Is this where we nominate the other officers also, or just one at a time?
Just one at a time.
One at a time.
Okay. All right, all in favor of Darren Carter, please raise your hand.
You can vote for yourself.
Can I vote for myself?
Yeah.
I might not be in favor.
Well, that's true too.
At this time, I'll turn the remainder of the meeting over to Darren Carter.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we will at this time take,
Further nominations?
nominations for vice chair. You got that? Open the floor for nominations for vice chair.
I would like to nominate London Thomas for vice chair. And do we do secretary now, or just one at a time?
Just one at a time.
Any other nominations?
Yep.
If not, all those in favor of London Thomas serving as vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
And nominations for the position of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Ray Jackson.
Any other nominations? If there are none, all in favor of Ray Jackson serving as secretary, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I'll first thank Dr. Eichelberger for the past year. Been a great chairman. We appreciate, he's a very busy person, and thank him for the time and dedication that he's put into to this office for the past year, so thank you a lot, Dr. Eichelberger.
No,
Appreciate
of course,
you.
thank y'all, and I've enjoyed it, and I'll continue to enjoy serving. Always glad to help.
Thank you, we appreciate you.
All right, I'll seek affirmation of the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we affirm the agenda as printed.
I'll second.
Motion second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, likewise. And I will seek the approval of minutes for tonight's meeting.
Make a motion for approval of tonight's meeting.
We're approving the minutes from our June 9th meeting, right?
I'm sorry, yeah,
That's fine.
approval of the
Yeah,
minutes
the
from our June
minutes.
9th meeting, I misspoke.
Okay, that's fine. I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? If none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, likewise. Do we have any board comments tonight?
No, thank you.
I know Mr. Reynolds and Ms. Thomas are out of town, so they couldn't be here with us tonight, so wishing safe travels for them. They'll be back hopefully next meeting. Public comments. We did have someone sign up for public comment. To give you a little background information, normally for board comments, it has to be on something that is on the agenda. We don't have an item on the agenda for this, but between the board members, we felt when someone shows up and they have a concern, we want to open the floor for them. So we're at this time going to recognize Michelle Reynolds, and we do have a few guidelines for speakers, and I would just point those out. If they would confine their comments to matters germane to the business of the board, i.e. district and school-related topics, and we are waiving the fact that it must be on this meeting's agenda. Refrain from words or statements which, from their usual construction and common acceptance, are constructed as insults or tend to breach the peace or incite violence. Refrain from obscenity, vulgarity, or other breach of respect. Comply with the 5-minute time limit for public comment by an individual. Refrain from cumulative or repetitive remarks. Complete a Board of Trustees public participation card, which they did, and submit to a document to a designated staff member. So, Michelle Reynolds.
Thank you. Is this on? Okay. All right, I got 5 minutes. So, good evening. My name is Michelle Reynolds, and I'm the new owner of Home Base 96 After School Program. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. I also want to thank you for taking the time to consider transportation for the children in our community. I'm here today to respectfully ask the district to reconsider providing transportation to our new nonprofit after-school program located here in our community, where the former middle school building here in 96. Although our program has not yet opened, we have already enrolled more than 30 students, with additional families continuing to express interest. And after I composed this speech, I had 4 other families reach out to me today. I understand the concern that was previously expressed that if transportation is provided for one after-school program, the district may feel obligated to provide transportation for other after-school businesses. I appreciate that concern, but I feel like my situation is different. We are not asking for a competitive advantage over existing businesses. We are just asking for an opportunity to remove a barrier that prevents children from accessing an educational program designed to support them. Our program also fills an important gap in the community. Daycares have licensing requirements, staff-to-child ratios, and occupancy limits that restrict the number of children they serve. Even when families are willing to pay, space isn't always available. An after-school program helps meet a need that already exists. It's also important to recognize that existing daycare providers are for-profit businesses. As a nonprofit organization, our mission is different. Any surplus we generate is reinvested directly back into our program to enhance the experience for our students through educational resources, activities, supplies, and future improvements. Our focus is not on generating profit, but on expanding opportunities for the children and families we serve. and this allows us to keep our program affordable and accessible, ensuring that more families have access to a safe, structured environment. Our program is much more than childcare. One of the primary goals is to serve as a homework and academic support center. We want students to complete homework before they go home, receive help when they need it, and build positive study habits. That benefits families, but it also benefits the schools and teachers. Students come to school better prepared, assignments are completed more consistently, and parents have one less challenge to manage after a long workday. The transportation being requested is not creating a new service or a new demand. It is simply continuing access to a service that many families have already depended on. This request is not about giving special treatment to one organization. It is about ensuring that children who previously had access to after-school care does not lose that access because the provider changed. Supporting transportation to this program also makes the 96 school district more attractive to current and future families. Reliable after-school options are something many working parents consider when deciding where to live and where to enroll their children. Having the district help connect students with safe after-school programming reflects a community that values families and invests in student success beyond the classroom. I also ask you to think about this from a personal perspective. Many of you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or young relatives. Programs like this exist to support families just like yours. There is something meaningful about knowing that the decisions made by this board can directly improve the lives of our children and our own community. If there are policy concerns, I encourage the district and our nonprofit to work together to find a solution. I believe we share the same goal, helping our children succeed both inside and outside the classroom. Because in the end, this isn't about transporting children to a business. It's about helping students access an educational program that exists to support the very goals the district works towards every day. Thank you for your time and your service and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, first off, thank you for your program and what it will do for this community. Again, like I said, normally for us to allow someone to speak, it would be on the agenda, but we did waive that tonight because we appreciate you being here. This is not something we can take action on at this point. There is a chain of command and encourage you to follow that, but thank you for being here, and we thank you for what you're doing in the community. Thank you. All right, next is our student recognition. Fitz, is this you? All right.
Good evening. It is with tremendous excitement, heartfelt pride, and sincere congratulations that we are honored to officially announce that Maggie Cogburn has been selected as the national first place winner in poetry for senior grade division. That's grades 9 through 12 in the National Career Development Association 2025-2026 Poetry and Art Contest. Maggie, please come forward. This is an extraordinary national accomplishment and a remarkable recognition of Maggie's creativity, talent, innovation, and thoughtful reflection through written expression. Among submissions received from contest participants across the nation, Maggie's entry stood out as an exceptional representation of excellence, imagination, insight, and future-focused thinking. We are absolutely thrilled to celebrate this outstanding achievement. This year's national theme, The Evolution of Work, Careers in the Past, Present, and Future, encourage contest participants to explore workforce transformation, innovation, emerging opportunities, and the changing landscape of careers. Through this powerful theme, participants were invited to think critically and creatively about how careers have evolved and how they may continue to shape the future. Maggie's award-winning submission beautifully reflected the spirit of this year's theme and demonstrated remarkable creativity, originality, vision, and inspiration. The submission serves as a powerful example of the talent, promise, and limitless potential represented by contest participants nationwide. On behalf of the National Career Development Association, we extend our deepest congratulations and appreciation to Maggie's family for supporting and encouraging Maggie's creativity, self-expression, academic growth, and career exploration journey. Achievements such as this are made possible through the encouragement of families, educators, and communities who inspire participants to pursue their passions and confidently share their voices. This year's contest has been a powerful celebration of imagination, courage, innovation, and the future possibilities that participants envision for themselves and the world around them. We are so honored to recognize as one of this year's national honorees and celebrate this well-deserved accomplishment. Congratulations once again on the outstanding national achievement. We're incredibly proud to celebrate Maggie Cogburn and look forward to recognizing her in the future. And if you've never been to one of our drama club performances, please come. She is magnificent. Congratulations again, Maggie. You're welcome.
All right, thank you and congratulations. Superintendent's report, Dr. Taylor.
All right, thank you very much. In your packet, we have information on professional leave requests. Does anybody have any questions about those requests? Also, we have policy BE. It's the board meeting policy that we do every year. This is our first reading, and it speaks about our location and also the day of the week and the time of the meeting. And so, is there any changes to that? That is in your packet. We're in agreement with that. All right, I do have one request, is that we move the October meeting to October 20th. I'm making that as a personal request. I have an opportunity to go to some kind of training, and would like to have that opportunity to do that. So could we change that to October 20th?
Entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept policy BE and change the October meeting date to October the 20th of 2027.
Second.
Motion second. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed,
I'd like to make
likewise.
a correction, I mean 2026, I'm sorry.
Okay, understood.
Thank you. Okay, and that's all that I have.
Thanks, Dr. Taylor. Ms. Fleming with Finance.
Good evening. How are y'all tonight?
Good evening.
So you have in your board packet our financial report for the month of June. As you can tell in there, we have collected a little over $14 million in our revenue for this year. These numbers will change. These are not our ending numbers for June 30th. We are still awaiting some tax revenue, some county reports, as well as we do receive one more state payment for the month of June. It's considered the 13th payment that we'll receive. As soon as we get those reports, we will continue to update that so we can close out the fiscal year 25-26. But that will be probably into August 1st to September when we start the audit process. But our revenue is a little less than what we projected, but we still have 1 month worth that we need to get on this report, and it'll be a little closer to what our expenditures and our budget was for the 25-26 school year. Our expenditures, however, are current and up to date, so our total expenditures a little over $16 million for the fiscal year, and I think we did a good job, as I've continued to say each month recently, managing those expenditures and trying to cut costs and do things. Principals do an excellent job keeping the costs down where they can and trying to look for ways to improve where we can. Any questions on the monthly financial report? Also in your packet, you will have our LGIP and our Fidelity accounts that show our investments. Not much change in there, but there's a few changes. Jumping right into our capital projects. As y'all are aware, we have had a busy summer getting some new PA systems installed. I was told today we are about 95% complete with that project. All of our classrooms do have the hardware, the speakers, the call buttons installed. That was our priority, to make sure that those were up and running prior to the first day of school. I believe our principals are going to receive some training on the system on Friday. Scheduled for Monday and had to get pushed back till Friday. But they are just going around and doing a punch list, seeing what needs to be completed at all 4 locations. But I think we're in a good place with that, to have it all up and running prior to the first day of school. Again, just a few little minor things that they're having to go around and correct, and hopefully that'll be completed by the end of this week. So that's some good news. Also, our track bleachers have been ordered, so those should be here in the next couple weeks, and you'll see those going up on the new concrete pad out here by the track. We had a RFP put out for field maintenance. As you know, we have a current contract for our lawn care maintenance at all of our facilities, but that did not include any of our practice fields or playing fields. There is now a need for us to get some assistance in those areas. We have some aging equipment that we were using that was causing some concerns, and so we decided to put out an RFP for field maintenance. We did receive 1 bid for that, and that RFP was awarded to Golf's Landscaping. So that is in your board packet, and we're seeking approval for that RFP. That will be to maintain all of our practice fields and playing fields. That's baseball, softball, football, the soccer field, and the track practice field. That will be for grass cutting as well as the sand and everything, to make sure that those fields are kept up to date as they should be. So that they have actually will start working, I believe, this week, cutting those fields to help alleviate some issues that we were having, and making sure that was taken care of the way it should have been. So that was just, that doesn't have to be approved, but I just wanted to make y'all aware that we did put that out for bid, and so you will see Golf's now cutting those fields.
It's not in our packet,
Yeah.
but you can get it to us.
Yeah. Also on the agenda, there was an RFP for 2526-0002 for signage for our digital marquees that we have been working on. We did issue that. We did have a couple bids for that. However, we actually issued a cancellation for that RFP today after some consideration and looking at those bids. We do not feel it was properly explained in the bid to include all work that we need, mainly electrical work that we're going to need at 2 different of the locations. So we have canceled that RFP, and we will be issuing a new RFP for those digital marquees, hopefully in the next week or 2, so we can get that project wrapped up. I know that's been a long time coming, but we hope to have 4 new signs soon in all of our locations. So, any questions on that?
Still can't find no painters.
Still can't find any
I
painters.
guess we'll have to roll up our sleeves and start rolling.
We're still on the hunt. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. We're not giving up on that, as well as Ms. Weeks's classroom furniture. We are still looking at some options as to what the teachers are wanting, and just trying to get some good options for her classroom furniture, and that will meet her needs in her classroom, since her classrooms are they're very tight. Lots of things going on in her classroom. So we're looking at her some storage options, and maybe a smaller teacher desk than what we originally hoped for. But we still have that, and we're working on that now. Anything else?
Questions?
Brief little comment too. Gym, it's kind of taken a beating over the years with all the sports and activities that we have in there. So we decided to do a good restoration of the gym, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to picture, but the first 3 rows of the gym were painted yellow, as well as all of the steps going up in the bleachers. The wrong color yellow, you know, not our Vegas gold. So the Bud Group went in, they worked hard last week, they started last Monday, and they did a deep clean of all of the bleachers, and they repainted the first 3 rows, as well as all the steps, in our Vegas gold. And they also put a sealant on rows 4 all the way to the top. And it is a tinted sealant. Previously, the concrete bleachers did not have any type of sealant on there. So every time you dropped something, spilled something, it was stained on the concrete. Now it has a tinted sealant on there that is going to be easier for them to clean and maintain. It's kind of a grayish color. From rows 4 up, so it looks really nice. They worked really hard last week, towards the end of the week, to make sure that that was completed and good to go before everybody returned on Monday. But it looks really good in there. So, okay,
Thank you.
thank y'all.
And I don't believe Officer Boudreaux is here, so his information is in the packet for our information. So if anybody has any questions on that, you can look at it. If not, we'll move on to policy. Ms. Anderson.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we only have one policy tonight that's for consideration for second reading. That's policy JFAB, admission of non-resident students. Inter-district is what we're talking about, which is the same term as what we've been using in the past, out of district. What you have before you is the state model policy that they've given us to consider, but we have some changes and additions that we put into that policy, such as page 34, which is tuition, came from our old policy and rules, and the top of page 35. So we took what we could from the existing administrative rule, existing policy, segregated it into the new state regs. You will see that there are lots of changes in the state regs. It's the introduction of the Educator Scholarship Trust Fund, which is a fund that parents can apply for to use for tuition. The district has to set up through the finance department a wallet for parents to place their contribution from the Educator Trust Fund in there, so that it can transfer over to their payment for out of district. Now the caveat with this is the state has asked us to adopt a policy second reading by August the 16th. And so we're closely approaching that date. And then the big thing that we have to remember is that we're in the middle of registering now for our new session. And so it's not great timing to be putting in a change. So I'm asking that we wait to implement this. We will adopt what they're asking us to adopt, so I can go on and send it to them to get them satisfied at the department. But we don't want to start implementing these new changes to 2027, 28. We have to design a website with our capacity study on it after you adopt the policy and put it in place. We have to redesign all our forms so that they're automated online in Spanish and English versions. I've been working very hard over the last 6 months getting ready for your adoption so that we can push these things into place. So most districts in South Carolina are battling the same thing. They all have the model policy, and they all are being encouraged to adopt it and put it out there. So I did not get any questions after first reading, but I want to pause for a minute and see if you have any questions now. And if you don't, then I'm asking for an approved policy. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve. As read, policy JFAB.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Likewise.
Thank you. This will give us time to finish this up, design our websites. We have to do lots of communication with our parents about the Educator Scholarship Trust Fund and the fact that it's available It'll also take us out of the zone where we are already halfway registered. We have to remember that people start registering in January for K4. So we'd like to get this up and running, say, October of that year, with everybody on board, everybody swimming in the same pond, so everybody's dealing with the same rules, same regulations, and the same options. And so that's one thing I don't think the state thought about when they asked for this just to be implemented like that. Okay? All right, we'll move on to explanation of S70. I put in your packets tonight a memo from Philip Cease. Philip Cease is the Director of Government Relations, and he wrote the district that memo on June the 16th, 2026, and it explains in the first section of the memo what S70 is. In addition to that memo, I also put the actual law, S70, in your packet, which is located on pages 46 through 51. And I highlighted the sections in the law that I felt were important for you to take a look at under the new expectations of S70. For those of you that don't know, it's a school board ethics law that was passed on May the 18th, 2026. And it requires the board to adopt a code of ethics that is based on the model code of ethics that the State Board of Education will approve. After they have adopted theirs, they will send you theirs, then you have 3 months to either accept theirs or make changes to theirs and to adopt one. The newly adopted code of ethics has to be sent to the State Board of Education within 60 days of adoption, and this is all kind of the way this works lately with do this in this time frame. The thrust of the adoption is the board ethics code, but it is also new mandatory training. Right now, you as board members are only trained when you are newly elected, and you're trained by the South Carolina School Boards Association. The proposed training is for all board members that are already elected and are newly elected. And the training will be designed by the South Carolina Department of Education. So the caveat is the South Carolina Department of Education hasn't even developed the training yet, and they've already passed the law. So the South Carolina Department of Ed has until May actually December 31st to formalize their training. And then they're gonna push this out to y'all for feedback. You'll start getting emails. What do you think about this? Give us some feedback. And then by May of 2027, everybody's gonna be swimming in the new training rules. Now the training topics are, and it's all listed in the law, policy development, personnel, superintendent and board relations, instructional programs, district finance, school law, ethics, nepotism, conflicts of interest, and community relations. So I don't know at this point what happens to the school board required training. Okay? I don't know if the School Board Association will bow to this and say, this is it, this is the new law, we're getting out of the training business, or what may happen next with that. We heard about this in May when we went to the SCASA conference in June. Dr. Taylor and I attended a couple presentations regarding policies and laws, and this was brought up yet again. So she requested me at least to put the law in your hand, give you a brief description, give you time to think about it. So when you start getting emails about feedback, you'll know kind of what you're dealing with, what they're talking about, and what the law actually is. So that's just for informational purposes. There is no adoption. There's nothing else we need to do with that. That's just so it's not coming to you out of the blue, so you understand. Okay, and that's all I have for the policy section. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Schofield, the Cognia update.
This might end up being a bad word before this semester's over with. Dr. Taylor and I met with our mentor late in June, told her our plans for what we're going to do and how we're going to start attacking this. We had our first Cognia leadership meeting yesterday. About 13 of us in there. We divided up into team leads out of that group, so we were developing the really 9 teams that we need to attack this with the team leads that were in the room, with our administrators, and then also including Jonathan Graves, who's going to be doing some of the writing for us. Principals are going out tomorrow. They're notifying, they nominated folks that were going to serve on these teams. They're going to notify their teachers tomorrow who are going to be working on these teams, and then the team leads are going to go scheduling their first meetings to start gathering evidence for this. Also, we're tasked yesterday with starting a training on the observation tool, and all this was to be done before our next meeting, which is August the 3rd. So we sent that out, and the go-getters that they are, there was about 8 or 9 of them that had already started the training today. Today I was notified by Cognia that training is no longer valid. That I'm not making this up. I can't make this up. And they knew that we were having this meeting yesterday, that we were going to be assigning this training, and they told us today that training is no longer going to be valid. So if y'all have not read your emails yet, if you're sitting in the room and you started that, I apologize. But it was not on me. I don't know. So they have asked us to wait until after August the 3rd, when the new tool becomes available, to start the training on it at that point. And it's going to be the tool that we use to observe teachers, in addition to SC Lead, which we do to fulfill our state requirements for them. This is more, the training, the tool that's going to be used is more about looking at the students and how they are engaged in the classroom, as opposed to how the teachers are instructing the classroom. So it's kind of a different perspective on how the classroom environment goes, and so it's going to be helpful to get this information back. But I don't know how excited they were, but they left and they understood the assignments and what we have to do, and we know as a district that this is something that we have to do every 5 years. So we're working on that. We'll have our next meeting, as I said, on August the 3rd. Check the progress of that. We have a big meeting on August the 21st, which is a PD day. That is a Friday, where we are going to be working in conjunction with our strategic plan group. We're going to need a lot of stakeholders to look at some of the processes that we're doing, updating our mission and vision statements. We got a lot of people that are going to be coming together for that. How this connects and how this all happens at the exact same time, I don't know, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great semester for this. So we're on a good track. We're on a good path right now in starting out with what we're going to be doing and gathering evidence. They're meeting with their teams and stuff. I wish we'd not had the setback with the training for this tool, but it's the way it is, and a little disappointment, we'll live with it. So I feel good about where we are and the plans that we have in place to move forward. Everybody's understanding of their assignment. I gave them a present when they walked in the door of a good thick notebook of some good reading material if they ever need to fall asleep and have some insomnia issues. They can help out, but we'll get through it. So we're good. Do you have any questions? All right. It's easy to brag on a district that does so well. So we expect good things. I also mentioned that I didn't mention this, but we did an activity. There's 31 standards that we have to rate ourselves on. And all 31 standards, they rate from 1 to 4, 1 being a kind of a needs improve, an unsatisfactory, 2 being a needs improvement, 3 being basically a met, and 4 being an outstanding. And in all 31 standards, all 13 of us have an average rating of 3 or 4. So of what we see ourselves as self-assessment. So we believe we have the evidence to prove that we are met in all 31 standards that we have currently before us. So I don't feel like we're having any concerns. It's really just gathering all the stuff and putting it in one place for them to look at. That's it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
All right, Ms. Anderson, back to personnel.
Yes, sir. Okay, students are coming next week, and I just wanna, take a look at the resignations we've had. We had one since we met last, and that is Kim Boyd. She was a cafeteria manager, and so I know that you have seen the 96 elementary food service manager job posted. I contacted Ms. Stabler today because the deadline to cut the job off was yesterday. She asked that I extended another 2 weeks, and she has agreed to help cover that spot, she and her staff, until we can find a person that we feel is the right fit for that position. We still have the one bus driver position out that we're still looking for, and that's it. So I think we're in pretty good shape for the students to come back, and I appreciate all that you've done to help us make that happen. Okay, that's it.
Okay, if there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, stand up.
What about Miss Loud?
We keep it here, because every year it goes in the back under on air.
Otherwise somebody will forget to bring it.
Yes, that seems to be an issue.